Good evening. I'm Katherine Soule, and I'm the president of the Phi Beta Kappa Society, and it's my pleasure to welcome all of you here this evening to the Book Awards ceremony.
I want to take a few minutes just to place the Phi Beta Kappa Book Awards in the context of the Society's mission of recognizing excellence. These awards have been presented annually for a half-century and more now to outstanding books in the fields of the humanities, the social sciences, and the natural sciences and mathematics. Phi Beta Kappa has honored outstanding books over the years, and you'll see that this year is no exception.
Because why do we read? What's the reason we read? We read for excitement. That's the only reason we really read. There are all kinds of excitement. There can be the excitement we find in best-selling action novels or 50 Shades of Grey or what have you. But there is also kind of intellectual excitement. And that's the kind of excitement that is celebrated in these awards tonight. We want to keep learning new things. And so that when we hear about awards like the Phi Beta Kappa Award in Science or the Christian Gauss Award or Waldo Emerson Award, we know these are books we might want to explore.
It is an extraordinary book, a project reminiscent of the megalomaniacal 19th century endeavors like the Dictionary of National Biography or the OED. Unlike those encyclopedic works, though, the novel and alternative history is the accomplishment of just one man. I cannot even begin to estimate how many years or decades went into the reading that lies behind the pages of Stephen Moore's The Novel. I used to be proud that I had read all 47 of Anthony Trollope's novels, that I could warn you off the one really wretched one, and give a sad little smile at the 10 not really worth your time. I stand before you a chastened character, a mere Padawan who bows before a Jedi master of novel reading.
Thank you so much, Suzanne, for that wonderful introduction. I wish you had been assigned a book to review for the New York Times. There are a lot of awards out there, but this one has a special resonance for me, especially when I look at the list of previous winners. It's basically a who's who of all the best literary critics of the last 60 years. I suspect sometimes I just made some kind of mistake. I shouldn't even be here. That's how good the list is. So to Harris, to the judges, to Phi Beta Kappa, thank you for this astounding award. This is the highlight of my life. Thank you.
It wasn't until I read this book that I really began to understand at a deep level the connection between the black body spectrum that I study and the nature of light, the origin of light, and the work in early quantum mechanics, how those all relate and play together. This book, it's amazing to say this about a book on physics, but this book has changed my life. It has really informed me about the origin of the very ideas that allow us to understand and interpret the universe.
I really want to thank Phi Beta Kappa for this wonderful recognition as a first-time author, to have my name added to the illustrious list along with the greatest writers about science from the last half century is just an enormous honor for which I am deeply grateful.
It is a work of deep scholarly research on a vast scale and scope. The book emphasizes that thoughts matter, concepts can be historical drivers, working understandings and frames of reference evolve over time and condition future understandings. This is a study that believes in the power of ideas without granting ideas a pseudo-agency apart from historical actors. As one of my colleagues noted, this is a very Emersonian book.
I didn't know who I was going to thank, but I have to thank Douglas Stone, because I began as a molecular biophysics major at Yale, and Yale's applied physics department is a good reason why I'm a historian and standing before you today. Knowledge is the product of millions, hundreds of millions, billions by now of people working together to create it. In that sense, and it takes readers, because no book is happy without readers. I think I think your line about books whispering to you, you haven't read me yet. Books are like genies in bottles. The longer you take to read them, the angrier they get at you. The collective intellect, knowledge is not immortal. It takes our constant effort to maintain it. And that's why I really want to thank you, because I think the Phi Beta Kappa Society has been a part of that effort in this country since the founding of this country, and that it has oriented itself toward the value of knowledge. Excellence, yes, but excellence in knowledge,